with everything going on in the world and all the different voices and instructions that are coming out of people in places of authority, even within the church, the Christian community and leaders and people with big platforms and small platforms and people with wannabe platforms, whatever. I was reminded this morning of the story of how Moses sent 12 spies into the promised land and how God seemingly authorized it or sanctioned it. You find it in Numbers 13. And God actually, according to the English, says to Moses, send out spies for yourselves. And he told them to pick one leader from each of the tribes. Now, in context, we have to remember that God had already spoken to the children of Israel, to Moses and the leaders, that he was going to give them the land, that they were to go in and to possess it by dispossessing the peoples, the nations, the tribes who were living in the land of promise. But yet the people came to Moses and said, hey, why don't we send out spies to just check it out? And it seemed like a good idea to Moses. And so Moses decided that's what was going to happen. So he approached God, and God said, send them for yourselves. In other words, God didn't need them to send spies to check out the land and the people in the land. God had already spoken very clearly that he had given the land to his covenant people in the Old Testament. So as I was pondering this morning, I was just thinking about all the people, especially in the last 3+ years, who have been leading God's people and leading the people of the world, really, but leading them into disaster. Into disaster. You know, there's a new quote-unquote mystery illness that supposedly has been discovered or originated in China, and it's now, finding its way in different countries around the world, Europe and now America, several states, and it's this mystery illness. Well, lo and behold, it is an actual side effect of at least the Moderna clot shot, the Moderna vaccine. But also, we need to know that people's immune systems, and especially children, because this mystery illness is really, from all I can gather, really attacking, the children, mainly. Whereas 4 years ago, it was attacking mainly the elderly and especially those with multiple comorbidities. This one's coming after the children, supposedly. But think about what's been going on now for 3+ years, almost 4 years now, 3 years anyway, where people were social distancing, quarantining, wearing masks, staying 6 feet apart and doing everything, which I knew just by logic and also the wisdom of the Lord that this was going to diminish people's immune systems. Their natural immunity was going to be adversely affected by obeying the dictates of people who supposedly were leading people into the, quote, promised land, end of quotes, even church leaders, and how it has harmed people in many, many ways. But now we're starting to see a new way that it's harming people, and that is because people's immune systems have been weakened, compromised, and now these seasonal flus or viruses are going to have a much greater negative impact on humanity. So just like these 12 spies, that it was not in God's heart to send them. He didn't need, but Moses and the people wanted to send them. So God said, send them. And of course, we know the 10 spies came back with a very negative report, contradicting God and his word. And they died of a plague. They died. Only Joshua and Caleb made it. Didn't just make it, survive the plague. They made it into the promised land as true leaders. Listen, God is looking for true leaders. He's been looking for true leaders. And so I want to ask you right now, who is leading you and where are they leading you? Are they leading you into what seems to be a safe place, or are they leading you into a place either now or in the very near future is going to be very destructive to you and those you care about? I tell you, you need to be very wise right now and not just listen to people just because they're the so-called leaders. Jesus talked about the blind leading to blind, and they all fall into a pit. And that's what we're seeing happening in the earth and in the church. People are falling into pits. Don't fall into a pit. Don't fall into a pit because the people you're following are leading you into a pit. Anyway, I'm up to about 115 subscribers now. Thank you to the 115 who have subscribed. If you haven't yet, please do, as well as like, comment, and share these videos, because I want you to reach your promised land, your divine purpose, the very reason why God has you on his planet right now. You have a divine purpose. So be very wise, my friends, in who you're allowing to speak into your life and lead you in this hour, because they may just be leading you into a future devastating, compromising situation. God bless. Peace in.